Okay, this is a real test. It's a real challenge. I can see that there's a little bit of a triangle forming here. So it's gonna it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. Yeah. Now what I've got in yesterday, what I was doing is I was really bullish and then it dumped, and because I had a couple of ideas. I had a continued correction or explosion. And obviously it just continued to correct. It wasn't pleasant for me because I was in some long trades, but that's fine. That's what happens when you're trading. You take high risk trades. you could get caught. It's not a problem because it just helps me with my next analysis. And so what I did was I've been posting on Twitter. Have a look at that. Where is it? This is what I posted last night, nine hours ago. See that? And what I was looking for was this kind of behavior. Yeah. So effectively a higher time frame WXY, which consists of lots of WXYs, which consists of lots of WABCs. Yeah. Now, just because I've got straight lines doesn't mean the price is going to go in a straight line. It just means that that's the beginning point. This is the end point. Yeah, this is the beginning point. That's the end point. So in my mind, I'm thinking of a one-to-one ABCD zigzag, and I've got that there. So I posted that yesterday, and then also I posted this, which is some kind of Gartley on DXY. And so naturally, you see here we had a bullish reaction yesterday on time on the 618, and the DXY is now back above. So I'm going to have a look at these two. And then this morning, was it this morning, 3 hours ago, I've posted this as well. So I don't know if it will drop this far by 1 p.m. When I posted that, the price was 64,134. And so let's have a look at that. So what happened since then? That so it dropped. It did drop, and now we're coming back to test the neckline. You see that it dropped, and now we're coming back to test the neckline. I'm not in any longs at the moment. I'm in a short. I've taken profit in this drop, so actually I shorted that and I've taken profit, and now I'm just waiting to see what happens at 1 p.m. So let me pull up my my analysis. Okay, looks a little bit messy, but it's not. It's not that messy. I'm just keeping an eye also on okay, good. There's a little bit of bearish divergence right now. So what we've got here potentially is, let me just zoom out a little bit. It looks messy, but it's not. Okay, so we've got potentially some kind of impulsive price action all the way up to here, and now I'm looking for, and so I did mark that out. I haven't really spent time to analyze it. I'm just imagining it, right? And did I mark it out? I think I deleted it. I did a lot of stuff yesterday because I was a bit annoyed and I apologize for that. So I was a little bit annoyed yesterday for many reasons, and one of them was crypto. So I apologize. And obviously I had a little bit of a rant, and I apologize to David on Twitter as well. And if anyone heard that, honestly, I'm sorry. David is literally my best friend, and and no hard feelings. Look, I'd like to apologize to David for my rant earlier. And also I apologize for my analysis, because I was thinking maybe up and then actually it went down. And so I had two ideas, but the bearish one played out. It's trickier. It's not easy. So that I always said it's not easy, and predictive analysis is not as straightforward as one would hope. So we're looking at potentially this, and I'm just trying to think. All right, so let me just have a look. So, oh yeah, I remember what I did before I deleted it. So I don't think this was impulsive. This is like ABC, ABC, see ABC, 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 or whatever. I don't know. ABC. And then here, the great thing about here is that you had a nice swing failure, take the lows, and you had a little bit of a bullish response. So maybe wave one starts here. That's what I think. I'll just quickly hide that one. So if wave one starts there, where exactly? Probably that's one here, this bullish. Where the swing failure was this red candle here, but I think probably the green one. And then what you want to count is 5 waves. So wave 1, 1, 2, 3, bit of a flat extended flat correction. Maybe there. I don't know. I'm thinking that. This is what I'm thinking. This, obviously, this 3 could just be there. That could just be a... could that be up to there? Possibly, yeah. Possibly. Doesn't really matter, actually, because I'm just imagining that this is some kind of Elliott wave 1, and on the back of that, I'm kind of contemplating some kind of corrective movement. So that's why I've called it correction. And so I'm trying to create ABCs. So I initially yesterday, what I was thinking to myself was was maybe this was it here, and maybe we're gonna start impulsing, but actually I was wrong. Okay, because what it was trying to do was just do this kind of mid wave WX, and then it dumped. And so what I did was I posted that, and I didn't think it was going to go to the floor, to 0. And so naturally, since the price hit some kind of liquidation level here, we've seen some kind of lots of bullish responses, bullish. But the harmonic hasn't played out, has it? And so, and also the corrective counts haven't played out. So I'm just trying to count the corrections, the waves. When it comes to the waves, I think I've done an okay job. I think, okay, it's not, I've spent a lot of time doing it. So I didn't want to do it on stream, because I really spend a lot of time doing this, okay? And I don't want people to waste their time watching me do it. And I've tried different alterations and different iterations or whatever, different ideas of where it starts, where it ends, etc. So I've got here, look, ABC, ABC. That will be your, let me do this again. ABC, that'll be your W. ABC, that'll be your X. ABC, that'll be your Y. That brings us down to this kind of this purple W. Okay. Then yesterday was a bit manic, but effectively after it happened, it's always good to see things after it happened. Hindsight, you've got an B, C, which is your W. You've got your A, B, C, which is your X, and then you've got your A, B, C, which is your Y. Okay, so that gives you your purple W, and then you've got, this is where the dump happens. We've got A, B, C, that's your W, and you've got this A, B, C, that's your X, then you've got this A, you've got this B, and I think we're in the last leg. Yeah, it's not the same as these ones. Okay, it's very different here. I think it's a lot less liquid here. It's a lot more liquid here, and so naturally the price struggles to move from wave to wave. And here, because it's a little bit less liquid, the price is just slipping, and so the waves get kind of a bit more aggressive, a bit wider. That's what's happening here. That's why these waves behave that way. There's a little bit more liquid up here. People are selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, and here people are like they're frozen. And so naturally, one or two big whales, whatever, are pushing the price around, and you get in these kind of bigger, kind of expansive, corrective waves. But ultimately, it's still doing the same thing. It's not doing what it is doing. Okay, and so effectively, that ends your last wave potentially. And so what I'm thinking is this last wave we're in now, the last corrective wave, which is a C, and again it's going to be an ABC, so it doesn't really matter. It's going to be the C, but it's also going to be an ABC within the C. Okay, and so effectively that's your A, that's your B. I am thinking all the way down there. It makes sense, doesn't it? It kind of matches. Okay, it does make sense. Okay? A, B, C. I'm thinking that. So that's what I've been talking about a lot. I've been talking about predictive analysis, where I'm predicting or trying to predict the waves and how they form, and then how and their targets, their destinations. So let me just get rid of all of that. I've kind of explained that. I hope that makes sense. And so this is kind of where we're at now, in my opinion. And obviously none of this is financial advice. So it's just an opinion. And what I've actually done is I've done a fib time of the original point to the W to the X. Yeah, so let me just redo that so you can see what I've done. I just deleted that, and just to make this a little bit cleaner, I'm just going to hide all these ABCs and just leave the WXYs so it looks a little bit cleaner. And I'll get rid of that fib extension as well, so I'll redo that, and then I've got that fib retrace. I'll redo that so you can see what I've done. Okay, effectively, so that's what we're looking at right now, in my opinion. It's just an opinion. Okay, and so fib time is, if no one's familiar with fib time, you should use it. It's really good. It takes a little bit of practice, but once you get it, it's invaluable. So you start, I'm starting at the top there with the beginning of the correction, down all the way down to this W pivot. Okay, and then I'm taking it to the Y. Okay, so you're taking it to the pivots. I don't care about anything. I don't care if that's lower. Yeah, see, this is interesting, because you might think, well, that's lower, shouldn't it be there? Yeah, and I've tested it with that, and I don't like it. It doesn't really work. So it isn't necessarily about whether it's lower or higher, or lower or higher, but that's the correct pivot. That was, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but that you also have to count the waves as well. So it wouldn't work if it was there, because the red WXY wouldn't work, wouldn't land there. It would lands here because of the ABCs that I'm counting. So you have to count, and the way they're forming the shapes are correct too. So you see that, look, see how lovely, redraw that. Look how lovely this is, look. Oh, I've got to unmagnet that. See that? Look how beautiful that is. That is your first kind of diamond harmonic. You have another little kind of I don't know why this is it's not in the right position. Or whatever, I'm not going to adjust this, but it's probably there. I don't know. You've got lots of diamond harmonics. I mean, you've got lots of diamond harmonics. So that's what I'm imagining. I'm imagining a continuation of that, and based on fib time. So I've taken fib time from this pivot here all the way down to this pivot here, all the way up to this pivot here, and it gives me basically 1 p.m. Look, 12:45, 1 p.m. Friday. That's today. Okay. So what I want to see thereabouts. So fib time is an estimation. It's not a precise time. It's kind of roughly this area. What I want to see is I want to see the price hit a level of support on time. Okay. And the reason why I've got it here, and I'm just explaining my reasons so people understand why I'm contemplating here, is because of the move, the one-to-one. I'm thinking a one-to-one from that top pivot to this W to this X. And so that's why I deleted my fib extension. What I can do here is I'm doing it accurately. I'm using a magnet tool. I'm using it to that pivot, to this pivot, to this pivot here. See that? And that gives you a one-to-one of $62,901. And on time would be at about 1 p.m. today. Now, look where we are now. I don't know if it's going to hit there. I have no idea. Okay. It could happen. I don't know. Okay. This morning when I was looking at it, I was like, how is this really going to go down? I wasn't sure, you know, like I was here, I was shorting, but I wasn't sure. Who knows? Like, look at the price action. It's going up. You know, you think when the price is going up, you think the price is going up. Okay. So when the price was going up, I was thinking, what should I do? I don't know. The price keeps on going up. What do? I just kept on shorting, and suddenly it dumped. So I guess it does work, but it's really hard to, you need guts of steel. And so, and it really did dump. So if you see how it dumped in the beginning of the London session, it really did dump. Now, what else am I looking at to make this kind of this area a really important area? Well, actually, there isn't really much else. There isn't much, because I was looking at the volume areas, which I love. I love volume areas. And when I draw the volume areas, we've already had a bounce of the value area. Look, see that? We've got two value area lows here. We've got this kind of mini range here. Hold on a second. Excuse me. So we've got two volume area value area lows here. We've got a big bounce off this one, which corresponds with both the value areas. So this value area, this larger range value area, I've got it from when we have this kind of expansive move up. Yeah, you see, you've got this kind of green candle which expands up, and so I've just taken it from that green candle, and you can see that we've had a little bounce here already, and that corresponds with this kind of local lower range value area, little big bounce there. and we've had a little bit of a bounce. So the point of control hasn't really offered support or resistance that much. But now the price has come into the value area high. So it's range bound. It's not expanding. You can see here clearly that it's range bound. And what's interesting about how the price came up to this area now is that it's also come into the VWAP. We lost the VWAP, it dropped, it came back above the VWAP, and now the price is kind of loitering around the VWAP, trying to figure out what it wants to do. Okay. It looks like it wants to lose the VWAP. You see that? It looks like it wants to lose the VWAP. And then if that happens, then again, this is going to become bearish again, isn't it? We're into the point of control, so it's going to be quite volatile and hostile for people trying to trade, because like you're kind of in the middle of the range, aren't you? You're at the point of control, you're at the VWAP, and you're range bound because the value area high has held the price. It's captured the range of the price. So it's quite volatile. I think it's quite liquid as well. So I don't think much volume. I'm looking at the volume on profile, the data on so charts. I can't see that much volume in this range, and so in my imagination, it's not a good place to launch a missile into space because it's quite a liquid here. I think what we need is to go down, and this might make sense. And it would make sense because you also have the 1-to-1, and so I've done the fib time, I've got the 1-to-1 here, 62,901, and then the other two things that I've done which are quite interesting are these two kind of trend lines, right? So I've got this pivot here and here, and if we do manage to come down here to the 1-to-1, and we might overshoot, yeah, so don't think we can't overshoot, but you can definitely overshoot and wick down, 100% possible to wick down through this level, this area. You're going to have this kind of third touch of this trend line, and then I've also kind of imagined, let me just get rid of this fixed range profile, volume profile now. Let me get rid of all of them, actually. I'm done with them. Kind of some kind of arbitrary sloping line here as well. You see that yellow line? I've kind of imagined that. I was just trying to see if there's anything else that matches up with kind of this area, and I see that there is something here. You can clearly see resistance, support, support, front run, support. Yeah. So there is something going on here with this line too. It's a lot of confluence of lines here if we can attack that line at the right time, which is roughly about 1 p.m. time today. Okay. And the other thing that I'm thinking to myself is, look at what are we looking at now? When you look at this kind of, when you look at the structure of this of this market, it looks like a rounding top, doesn't it? Yeah. So we've got a sloping higher neckline, but we've got a rounding top. So people are seeing this and they're getting really bearish, aren't they? Because we're putting lower highs and we're attacking this, potentially we're attacking this neckline. Okay. And so I am wondering if at the right time people are going to get really bearish because the price is going to start potentially coming down, and people are going to go, oh my god, this is it, this is the moment. And when I say rounding top, it also looks like a head and shoulders, isn't it? Some kind of weird, I don't know, people make shit up. I don't know. I think it's around, so I don't really think it's head and shoulders. People like to say head and shoulders when it's not. Okay. But people like to confuse things. So let people confuse things. Let people think what they think. The reality is that it doesn't look bullish because you're rounding. But that's good, because if we can come on time and hit this area on time and get a good bullish reaction. Now the question is, do we get a swing failure or not? That's the question. I think I would like to see a swing failure, actually. Yeah. So even though I've got a really nicely primed, so this is the thing. If we do get a swing failure, let's just say for the sake of argument, you get a swing failure here, like a really crazy, it's like a fat finger market sell right here, right here, because someone is selling the breakout, right? That would be a breakout. You get a swing failure of these lows, you get a massive liquidation, you get bounce up, and then that's kind of the price action that I would want to see. Right back up and then up. Okay. That would be what I want to see. Okay. If I don't see that, then basically you're just going to have massive respect here at this higher low. And it's just going to absorb the price, and the price is just going to perfectly respect it. You get like a perfect bounce because someone has looked at this analysis. He's a billionaire and he goes, oh my God, this is amazing, Amir. I'm going to put a 1,000 Bitcoin order right there at 62901. Yeah, so that's what happens, you know. So if someone does that, then naturally the price is going to go down. It's going to be completely absorbed. And actually that's the right place to buy because the shorts will get absorbed and then it will squeeze up. And then you'll start your impulsive move because then you get a short squeeze, which will lead to people getting really bullish and start market buying. That's what I think. Okay. And that will be correction over. You'll obviously it's not going to go up in a straight line, but that's what I'm imagining right now. And obviously, it's always possible that we just break down. Always possible. And I don't want to say it's not, because it is. It's possible that we come into this area, there's not enough liquidity, swing failures fail, and you just go down. Okay, very possible. I don't want to say that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but it all depends about on buying and selling and supply and demand. Okay, and so the other thing that I'm just keeping an eye on, okay, is obviously the order flow is really important. I'm keeping an eye on XO charts. I'll be having a look at that roughly about 1 p.m. today, although I'm quite busy, so I won't be streaming. I'm going to be I'm not going to be streaming at 1. I'm going to cut the stream relatively short because I'm basically telling you everything I want to say now in this analysis. And the thing that I'm looking at is the DXY. What I printed yesterday on Twitter, what I posted on Twitter yesterday was some kind of harmonic like this on time. And so I quickly flicked to it yesterday while Bitcoin was crashing. Like I saw there was a DXY had actually come into this area and had a really good reaction. It had a swing failure. And so naturally, what I think, I don't know if it's going to happen today. I don't know. But obviously I want to see this come. In my mind, it would be good if this just hits there 50% immediately and Bitcoin holds. Bitcoin holds support. It's kind of what I want to see. But obviously, I don't necessarily think it has to go there because it could just easily get to the 382, have a little swing failure here. And then, you know, it could totally do that. If this is, I don't know. I don't know what's going to, so I have to keep an eye on this. And you kind of want a bit of confluence between the way the dollar, the DXY behaves, and also the way BTC reacts. So if BTC is holding support, and then you see the DXY hitting resistance, and then you see the DXY rejecting, then that's fine, isn't it? That's kind of what you want to see. If you see that Bitcoin isn't holding support and the DXY is whatever, then yeah, obviously that's not good. So kind of looking at those two things at the same time. All right, my target is 50% here. Obviously I'm not in a DXY trade, but it doesn't have to happen just simply because, you know, the way the price came down here quite dramatically, this big drop, I can't see volume on DXY, and you've got these kind of lower highs. I'm wondering if we just get a swing failure into the 382 actually, and you don't feel that gap. That gap is just held. It just holds the price. Yeah, because I think if it goes up, It's quite a distance, and that would have a dramatic impact on Bitcoin. And so I do want to see how this reacts. If this has if we have a really bearish reaction here, then yes, then I would think, okay, and then Bitcoin is holding the support. It probably will pull back, but maybe it will hold support at my area of interest at the right time. Then, oops, then maybe that's it. Maybe that's your oh, look at that nice rejection. I told you, short squeeze, no real longs. I saw that on the XO charts. Just come back up to the tester neckline into the VWAP, and naturally that's a good place to sell. See that? So this is quite bearish. It's really quite bearish today at the moment, and I do think we're heading down here. Do I want to see a breakdown? No, absolutely not. But I wouldn't mind a fake out. I wouldn't mind a fake out, and that's really what I want to see. Actually, I really want to see a fake out. I want to see us overshoot this area, just because there's not enough liquidity here. There really isn't. Yeah, if you look at these candles, and let me just put my other kind of analysis on my higher time frame levels. No, nothing there. Volume. What's that one? My volume. I've lost my volume. So this is the question. I think it could overshoot. To where? I don't know. And then this is the real question. If you do get a breakdown here, I'm not expecting a breakdown. Okay, I'm expecting a reaction, because I'm looking at this correction. I'm seeing WXY correction over, but I'm just contemplating worst case Armageddon basically. If you do have no liquidity and no support, no SFP, then then maybe we test the value area low for a failed auction, something like that, like a real fake out. So you have a rounding top, breakdown, it just comes into the value area low for a real liquidity grab, capture the fill the gap there, get more liquidity, and then actually get people shorting. But actually what's happening is that you've got big whales just buying the value area low. That's where they want to buy, isn't it? They don't necessarily want to buy arbitrary trend lines. They may want to buy the value area low, and then what you will see is big shorts into these value area low, because you're seeing this a rounding top break the neckline. That's what happened. Break the neckline down into the value area low, and then explosive up. I don't know. I'm just contemplating Armageddon. So naturally, there's no way that I'm going to preset. I'm looking for a reaction on time. Okay. If I don't see a reaction, I'm not going to long. I might long a little bit, just to kind of have a little small position, just so I don't FOMO in case it does start to go up. So I can build that as it goes up quickly. But obviously it's a small position. I don't want to preset, because just in case you do get a breakdown. And the other thing you have to contemplate is, and I don't know, because I'm just looking at this. I think the correction could go down to there, but what if it doesn't? Just be aware of that too. So whatever happens, I'm kind of looking for the correction to end on time. Okay, roughly on time. And if there's just not enough selling, we're not going to go down, are we? And so look where we are now. Actually, this is quite bearish, because we're underneath the point of control of this local range. So it probably will go down. we've hit the value area high, we're back underneath the point of control, we're underneath the VWAP, we've rejected from this neckline, and we are probably going to go down there at the very least to clear the lows here, yeah. So a swing failure there would be perfectly acceptable. That would be like a front run of that level, okay. A perfect touch of that level would be my preferred price action, because people will look back and go, oh my god, why didn't I do this? I knew that there was a trend line. Why didn't I just long the trend line? Yeah, people always do that. They always, it's like what is it called? It's called the traders who are 20 hindsight traders. And I'm not, I want to preempt the future. I don't want to look back and go, I should have. I want to look and go, this is what I'm going to do. So that would be a front run. And so literally a front run, we just take the local lows. Yeah, maybe even a higher low here. I don't know if we'll take that low. Just the local lows. Liquidation. You want to see a liquidation. And so that I'll be looking at XO charts. You get a liquidation bubble and you hold a higher low, then that's it. If you're not going to get a liquidation, then possibly the price wants to go lower. And if it does go lower, does it liquidate this level and just kind of SFP that into our area? That would be perfect, because it'll be a higher low of these pivots, but it actually will be a nice liquidation of this pivot. And that would be my preferred price action. And then obviously I'm contemplating two other ideas, which is a much more aggressive sell-off, some kind of failed auction to the lows. So you're invalidating this rounding top by going down into the value area low, finding support, filling the gap, and then the price comes right back up, and then it starts to rally. So you've kind of invalidated the rounding top. It becomes really bullish, extremely bullish price pattern if you invalidate a bearish pattern. And then the other idea obviously I have is some kind of bearish continuation. For whatever reason, Michael Saylor sells all his Bitcoin at 63,000, and you know the price goes down, it just breaks down. Yeah, if it breaks down, you're not going to get a swing failure of these lows, and you're just going to, and then you just get high volume into the value area low, and then like it's going to be really bearish. You'll see how bearish it is. You'll get no longs enter, you won't get shorts closing, and actually what's happening is the price will probably come back up to back test pivots or whatever, and then you're probably looking for an actual breakdown. Okay, it could happen. All of these options are possible, and no one can predict the future, but in my imagination I want to long here. I'm not looking to short here, because I'm in a short now. Am I in a short? Unless I've been stopped out. I don't think I'm in stopped out. No, I'm in a short now. I've taken profit. I'm in a short now. My entry is 64172. I entered this morning because I was just counting these waves, and I was trying to catch the B. I shorted a little bit early actually, and I was talking to David while I was doing it, and then it just came up, cleared the high here, but actually then dumped. So luckily I had a wide enough invalidation. Anyone could be faked out by that, because you're thinking to yourself, oh my god, it's going up, it's going to the point of control, but actually all it was trying to do was just clear the liquidity to complete this corrective move, ABC, the B, you know, and then to fall. And so now obviously I am looking for this to go down, like another A, B, C. I am looking for that, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so no one really knows. I'm just kind of I'm just predicting what could happen based on this analysis that I'm doing now. Okay, so is that clear? David Rami's here. I don't know if anyone else is here. I can't see, because Google is a multi-billion-dollar company and YouTube sucks. They can't even make a good interface. So I can't see who's a this is actually quite bearish, isn't it? Like, look, point of control in the high of this range. Yeah, it's quite bearish, isn't it? I think what I want to see is this. Okay, let me just get rid of this now as well. I don't need that. And actually I can hide the corrective move. I can hide that now. What's that impulsive wave? Oh, I can put that into the correction. What's that horizontal ray? I can't remember what that was. Oh, that was the S. That was the SR flip, the pivot. So we're underneath that pivot now. You see that? We'll just call that SR flip. So people are looking at this now, but getting really bearish, yeah, because we've come underneath this pivot here, see, which I've called SR flip. Actually, it should be on this one. What's on that one? People are going to get bearish, and that's what you want. You want people to get bearish. You want people to short. You want people to look at this as a rounding top. You want people to look at this as a head and shoulders pattern that's formed here. You want people to short into here, and then you want to see a bullish reaction. Hold on a second. Sorry, I've got to take this. Okay. So that's kind of what you want to do. You want people to get really bearish, head and shoulders, rounding top, sell, 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 lose the value area of this range. Get people really, really, really bearish, short, 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 short. But actually what you want to see is you want to see a bullish reaction. You want to see massive, massive bullish absorption, short centering, but getting absorbed. And then you want to see the bulls turn out and market buy and squeeze the shorts for some kind of explosive move. Okay. And in the process, what I would like to see is I would like to see this local range. I would like to see the price lose the value area low of this local range. I'd like to see the price get back into the value area. And I'd also like to see the point of control of this local range kind of move. It's almost there. It could flip to the lows here. Okay. If it does that, I'll become really mega bullish, ultra bullish, like 100x long bullish. if I see this, okay, I'll be longing and max longing. I'll be longing. That's what I'll be doing. Now, if the point of control actually shifts before we get a drop and the price can't go down, that's already bullish in itself. Yeah. So just got to bear that in mind. Yeah. Just because it looks like we want to lose this range. Remember, we're still in this range. We're in the value area, and we're above the value area low. We actually have tested the value area low multiple times. So that's quite bearish. We've tested it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. That's really bearish to keep on testing a support level. Yeah. But who knows? If suddenly a lot of volume comes in, the point of control shifts to this area and the price bounces one more time and then finds support on the point of control, then everyone who's waiting for the long of the century, the long of the millennium, which is here, is going to get front run by some fat finger, big mega whale who just goes, I don't give a shit. I just want to buy now. Yeah. I just want to accumulate now. I don't care about whether the price goes down another 1%. It's not likely. It can happen. It's not likely. It's not likely because the reason why no whales wouldn't do that is because there's no liquidity here, and I can't really see a bullish absorption CVD absorption. That's what you'd expect. If someone wants to fill a large position here, it's quite difficult, yeah. And so naturally, what they need is a big liquidation, massive liquidation to fill a big position. So that's why I kind of think I would love to see a swing failure of these lows, and I'd love to see a lot of shorts open to fill some big whales bags. Okay, that's kind of what I want to see. All right, so that's Bitcoin. Any questions on that? David's here. I've probably scared everyone off. David, sorry. Never mind. It is what it is. What do you think, David? How does that sound? Right. Literally no feedback. I want to see if I can find out if there's anyone here. Can't tell. Doesn't say. It literally says concurrent view is 0. So what does that mean? No idea. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Take that. We're getting a little bit of bullish absorption now, just FYI. So it doesn't mean it's going to go up, but there are bulls, there are some whales absorbing price action, absorbing selling. Let me show you. This is the order flow. We're underneath the VWAP, and here you can see the CVD has actually just made a lower low. The price is higher, so we're getting a little bit of absorption here. There's a little bit of selling. It's starting to increase, but it's being absorbed. So we're not getting the aggressive selling yet. Yeah. And we are underneath the VWAP. So I think the buying is not going to be aggressive either. And so right now, someone's just accumulating with a limit on. Oh, look, that's a big market buy. See, is that bearish? I don't know. Let me have a look. A big market buying there. Okay, that was not even that was just a short closing. Look, see how illiquid it is, minus 522. Look how far the price moved up. Oh, that's a plus 5.8 million long. What the hell? And the long is right up there. Look, 2.8, 2.5 million. Wow. Not on open interest, huh? I don't understand. 6.8 million in that 5 minutes. Someone's just longed. Not on open interest, so I'm not really interested in that long. It's at the high of that candle as well. All right. There's a little bit of bullish absorption here. But it doesn't make any difference. I'm waiting for 1 p.m. basically. I'm waiting for 1 p.m. Very liquid, huh? This area. The other thing that I was thinking about to coincide with this idea that I have is some kind of 3 drives pattern. It's a 3 drives pattern. I don't know if this is really a 3 drives pattern, to be honest with you. Maybe from that pivot to the golden pocket, it was kind of front run a little bit here. And then from this pivot, it comes to the golden pocket. So maybe this is the 3rd one. If this is also a 3 drives pattern type idea, and we do find support here, then actually look, the price will bounce. It will bounce right up to the point of control, assuming the point of control doesn't shift. But that would be what I'd be looking for. So that's the trade effectively, isn't it? But these, in my mind, this is quite bullish. If we get a bounce here, that's actually really bullish. I wouldn't be bearish, especially if we take out that high after we've put in a low and then take out that high. But obviously then you don't want to see this. You don't want to see that then. Okay, so there are conditions to bullishness. A little bit of buying here, so it's quite volatile. It's quite volatile. All right, so I'm just waiting for one. It's in about 2 hours, or 12:31, and see what happens with the beginning of the New York session. All right, any questions? No questions. I'm going to move on.